Just play a joke on them.
What
action?
Okay.
Bring a bowl of warm water. Put their hand in it.
All right. So, considering the law level in these provinces is, as you can see from your sheet, incredibly high in your favor.
Yeah.
No bandits attack you guys on the way to the wedding.
Now, Howard, the law level is 1.
But what's the actual level of the? Oh, is it
The
really?
level of the. Well, it says
They're all 1, aren't they?
Well, Howard, the level is 5-0.
What's
but
law?
The
What's
law? It says law hill. Law. What? I'm not sure.
Right.
LS. I'm not sure what that this one means.
LS means you, basically. It was originally. See, I typed that directly from the original entry, which was the era Shadow Sword or whatever name was.
Okay. There's a 1 there.
Okay, but you're not going through that way anyway, so. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. You're on the final bend, and the walls of the Grand Estate stretch out before you. It sits near one of the realm's minor rivers. This creek's babbling fills the air as you draw near. River Hall is a 3-story white marble edifice. A 3-story white marble edifice sprawls across its considerable grounds, surrounded by high walls that protect the ground from poachers. However, the manor looks obviously indefensible against siege. The hall itself seems well fortified, which one might expect considering the frequent instance of banditry in this province that you've heard about. You guys ran into no problems, though. You've got his bodyguard, you've got another retinue of some servants, and that kind of thing as well. To the right of the manor lies a garden with statuary placed artfully among the greenery and blossoms. It looks as though a labyrinth hides deeper in the garden, though the high hedge walls conceal much of the area. The drive leading to the manor is filled with carriages and mounts. Grooms rush hither and yon, leading horses to the huge stables off to the left of the house. As you approach, a team of grooms rushes up, bows, and helps you dismount. Once they've unloaded your possessions, they lead the horses away. A young man, assuredly not older than his early 20s, steps forward to greet you. He sketches a bow and says, "My lords and ladies, I welcome you to River Hall, and I bid you good stay. I am Hadrian Pelion, second son of the Baron, and I am here to see to your needs."
Very good.
And then he leads you into the house, showing you to your room. He also offers to guide each of you around the River Hall's grounds if you wish.
What time is it again?
It's probably early on the first day. Noonish, I'm going to say.
Okay.
Anything you wish to do? This is your second action, Jeff. You get those 2 character actions. Your first was to tour the realm, and the second one here is to... Exactly.
Now I've got to look down here and see what character I can make a lieutenant.
But you've used your second one. This is your second one to go to the
Oh,
wedding.
to go to here? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Yep.
okay. Okay. Well, we've introduced ourselves to the second son. I'm waiting to actually meet
Okay.
the Lord there.
Yep, there's
And
going to be plenty of opportunities.
And the bride and the groom.
There's a luncheon right now, you find out. Hadrian tells you that the Chamberlain can give you a list of all of the events that are going to happen. And he tells you the name of the Chamberlain is... Steel. Anyway, gives you the name of the Chamberlain. Tells you, obviously, you can go anywhere you want on the grounds. He can guide you. He can show you around.
Of course I can. I'm keen.
Or the Chamberlain can show you around. Yes, my liege. And the like. So, you start going around to introduce yourself to the rest of the family, right?
Yes.
All right. Here they are. Wait, actually, why don't you take this one, and I'll have the names for me.
Okay.
Upper left is Jonathan Pelion. That's the Baron's brother. Baron Brazen Pelion is the father of the groom, who is Erik Pelion. Bus Pelion is the youngest son. He's very young. He is probably in his early teens. You get to know each one of them a little bit over the next couple days. You know that Brazen inherited the position from his father. He seems very vain. He loves to show you around the place. The marble, he loves the statuary, the garden, He doesn't go anywhere near the stables. He doesn't go anywhere near the armory, that kind of thing. There's not really much of an armory. This isn't. You see that the place has fortifications.
Yeah.
But it could not withstand like any kind of lengthy siege. When you talk to Erik,
now are we up here in this area?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
When you talk to Erik, you find out that he doesn't seem very bright. You learn through various servants and chamberlains that actually Hadrian is actually is the favored son as far as like inheriting the land. He's going to take over once the Baron dies at some point. Brozen, you realize why, is because Brozen's Erik is just not terribly bright. And you also get to talk to Jonathan Pellion, and he seems like he seems very friendly, but he also seems he chooses his words very carefully. And from what you can understand, he has a lot of business ventures in the area and runs some small guilds and the like. There are at least 200 people at the wedding. Your bodyguards are very busy trying to keep up with you, because I'm assuming that if you're going to pull what you've been pulling, that you're going to be trying to kind of get away from them whenever possible, or at least not really.
Well, one thing I will do is I'll get with Hadrian and ask him, based on what we've heard of troop placement to the north, what have you done, if anything, to protect the northern borders, or your northern borders?
We have guards in place, my lord, your highness. But there is a brigade of infantry. Isn't infantry in this province of yours?
Are there archers?
Okay.
Yeah.
There are archers that are arrayed along the border. My father is not much of a leader of men.
I wonder how many does Donell have? Does it? I don't know how many.
Each of those is a unit, which is comprises about 200 men.
I'm just wondering how many people live in Donell.
Yeah.
Few thousand, probably 3,000 or 4,000.
It doesn't say how many people live there.
Probably 3,000 or 4,000. Most of it is small villages that are scattered throughout the provinces. Yeah, you guys can look at these two. Do you want to know who's who?
I would suggest that he, and not to overstep any of his father's powers, but I would suggest that he begin training the people, not necessarily as soldiers, but just let them know that there may be occurrences of attacks, brigands, whatever.
Yes, my liege, I will see to it.
Yeah.
A lot of the guests are trying to get your time.
Okay.
Trying to talk to you about things.
Okay.
Yes, you have the king's ear. Perhaps you can talk to him about lowering taxes for the rich. I think it's very important that the rich be kept in Ernway. That's the kind of thing you're getting. You're approached about raising trade tariffs to dissuade trade from other countries so that the local tradesmen can make more money. The rumor that's going around is when are we going to war with Assad? That's the big question on a lot of people's lips, and a lot of people are a little nervous about it. It's 20 or 30 miles to the border from here, which is good, but at the same time, people are wanting to know. We've heard about the rumors, the troops massing on the border. Did you send somebody to investigate that at all?
Well, that's one thing that we were going to do, is go up and look and see
Okay.
how many troops there were.
Okay.
So.
There are several ladies who approach you,
Oh yeah.
whose daughters they think would make a wonderful queen.
Oh,
And here's the bride's family. You meet them over the course of the next several days too. Lara Belaine is it Belaine or Belaine? She is the mother. She comes across as as shrewish, very sharp. She seems to be very sharp, but she's kind of bitchy too at the same time.
Now, which one's getting married?
Lyra.
No, we're gonna
Not
change
Lara.
We're gonna have to change that.
I like that picture.
Yeah, we're gonna have to change that.
Here, you guys
met
can
my queen.
The mother's on the upper left. That's Lara. She comes across as sharp but shrewish, kind of shrewd.
Whoa. What about Lyra?
That's the one that's getting married.
She's getting married.
We're gonna be
You
changing
gotta
that.
do something about that. You're king, aren't you? Do
We're
something.
changing that.
King's privilege. Michael Belaine seems friendly and guarded, but he's not terribly bright. That's the husband. That's her third husband too. Lara is bright, sparkling, and innocent. She seems very sweet. She's very kind. She makes time to introduce herself to all of you. When she finds out that you're the king, she didn't recognize you at first.
How old is she?
All at titter. She's 16.
Oh, there
what?
you go.
I'm talking about.
But the thing is, Mom is never far away, wherever she is. So when you get actually get drawn into conversation with her, Mother shows up very quickly after that and says, "I'm sorry, my liege.
I will do my best to intercept Mother every chance I get.
You try so hard."
I
But
heard that Ruinil killed.
she says, "I do not have time to
Lara
talk
Belaine.
to god beggars right now, my liege." Excuse me.
I will redirect her and let her know that I'm not a god beggar, that I'm an advisor to the king himself.
I care not.
Oh,
And then she
wow.
heads straight for the king. Laddie, or his name is Lady. That's an awful name.
For a guy?
Yeah. He's actually, he hooks up with you. Not hooks up, but he gets together with you.
A name like that, I bet.
And you find out that this guy he's very charming and funny as hell, man. He's got jokes.
Okay.
He's easy to talk to. He's quick-witted.
You have to be with a name like Lady.
Puns come to him like that. Good ones,
Yeah.
though.
Boy
Not
named
the ones
Sue.
that you want to groan. The ones that are like,
Right.
oh. Or the ones where you're like,
Nice.
what? Oh. You know, the ones that
Right.
you have to think about. He doesn't really care for this marriage that's going to happen.
Okay.
But he doesn't like the Pelions, and he
That's
thinks
it.
his
Oh.
sister is going to get corrupted by them. But what happens. He's not like against it, but he's not for it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And he has a lot of jokes about the Pelions. Mostly like on the
Well,
caliber
they're
of how many Pelions does it take to screw in a light bulb kind of joke.
Right.
But they're clever, and you've never heard anything like them. So
What's a light bulb?
the Baroness' youngest daughter there, she takes after her mother. So she's kind of spiteful, and if you do manage the one time or twice that you manage to intercept the mother somehow by force, practically like standing on her dress and be like, "Oh my dear, I'm so sorry. I must lift my foot in order to," and you're glancing at the king.
so tired.
And the king is about ready to escort the daughter somewhere so they can have a private conversation.
Yeah.
Then Jerry shows up, and she's at your elbow, and she puts her arm in yours, and she starts just talking and talking with this shrill voice about, you can't figure out what. It's like talking about nothing. Shoes and the price of pearls at the coast, and to the point where Lyra is
Wait, what?
distracted by something else. Someone else calls her.
Reality
"Oh,
plays."
It's like mother and daughter are tag teaming so that nobody can get
Yeah.
mother and daughter are tag teaming so nobody can get any time with
Every time
any
I go
extensive
out to
time with the
market, I
bride.
see them all the time. So, yes,
Um,
that's everyday life. Really?
Well, I pay money to see
You
that.
people actually live like
One thing that you also learn, Jeff, Hadrian also is not really for this wedding. He doesn't like the Belanes either.
Name me the one that's got the names on them so I can
There it
see.
is.
Yeah,
Hadrian.
there's the names. Hadrian's the one who you first met when you got there.
He's
Yeah.
the sharp one, right?
And Erik,
The sharp of the
and Erik
sharpest
is
of
the one
the
that-
sons.
Erik's
He's
the
the
one that's
youngest.
getting married, right?
Erik is getting married, and he's not terribly bright, but he's very friendly, very nice guy. He's going to be the one who's going to inherit the estate. And then the uncle, you get to know him. He's a businessman.
uncle.
Yeah.
Well, I will
Creepy
find out. I
uncle.
mean, once I hear that, Laddie is not in favor of the wedding, that it definitely sounds it's more like the mother and probably the father pulling everything together. I'm going to find out
Probably.
why he's not And then why Hadrian is not.
In both cases, they don't like their relative marrying into the other family just because they don't like the other family.
Okay,
And
so
it might be that this feud's gone on so long, it's ingrained in some cases.
Yeah.
But Hadrian seems to be more against it than Laddie.
Yeah.
Laddie's more annoyed by it. You get and he's very charming too. You have fun talking to him. He's a guy you would get drunk with in a bar and just have a blast. Hadrian's a little more uptight. Obviously, he's probably doing most of the running of this entire the state. Not to mention having the additional dealing of the whole wedding.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot on his shoulders right now, and he just seems busy constantly. But he always makes time for any of you if you want him, or to find out if there's anything else that you need. But he does seem irritated, like at the probably just the entire situation. He's just like.
So just to make sure, let's see. You've got the groom's family.
Groom's family, bride's family.
Bride's family.
Yeah.
Okay.
Enemies.
Yeah. And you get. You're constantly, all three of you are constantly harassed. Well, harassed is too strong a word, but constantly bothered by people coming over and saying and wanting things. Especially you, and especially with the ladies who want to marry their daughters off to you. And many of the daughters have good reason for why they're not married off already. This is my daughter. Hello. And you hear that from across the room, and it's up to hey Steve, you gonna go rescue him right now?
Yes, it's my duty.
Okay. So that's kind of how the next several days go.
Boy, howdy.
Yeah.
And y'all are complaining about my trip.
I'm complaining about the trip. It's complaining about the
Manner in which
circumstances of the trip.
Even though I'll laugh with him a
Sorry,
few
Bill,
times,
worked out.
and yeah, we'll kind of warn Laddie that he should probably watch his tongue, because soon this will be, soon they'll be related, more or less, or at least they'll have a connection. He should be careful.
Yeah, he hates the sound of it, but he agrees that you are correct, and he will, and he's, yeah.
I mean,
And he seems like he'll watch
it's
his
funny as
tongue.
heck. It's like basically just kind of like, just don't say him out loud. Just don't say him in public.
Okay. Yeah, he takes you at your advice. As a how old is your character? He's
30.
30. Yeah, you're definitely older and wiser.
Well, older.
The true festivities begin on day 4 and run through day 5. There are tests of skill and strength. There's a joust. If anybody wants to be involved in the joust, they're invited. There are foot lists for those who have no skill with the horse, as well as archery contests and foot races. With platinum trophies.
I'll participate in the archery contest.
Okay.
Just because. I mean, I'm second level, so I will not succeed. But
Typical entrant. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, let's make some rolls.
okay.
Part of the time period where while this is going on up to the fifth day and wedding, I want to talk. We'll be talking to Lyra as much as possible and to Erik to find out how they feel about each other.
Oh,
is this a true alliance?
From the sound of it, they're in love.
Okay.
That she did not know how wonderful a man could be until she met him. That kind of thing. He can't stop talking about her. When you ask him about her, it's like an hour later before you're able to escape the room. He's not eloquent, but he sounds super sincere about how pretty she is. She's so pretty. And how funny she is. You haven't found Lyra really terribly funny. She's not stupid or simple, but she's not super smart.
Yeah.
She's not like her brother.
But obviously he's looking at her through a love's eyes.
But they do seem to be genuinely...
Yeah, they do. Attracted. They're very attracted to each other. They seem to like each other a lot. They actually might be a good match. I mean, he's not terribly... like I said, he's not terribly bright.
Neither is she. And
let me see what they... She is... Well, no, she's bright. Stop. She's bright, but she's not super intelligent.
Right. Stupid but pretty.
No, she's not stupid. Bright, sparkling,
I didn't say her. I'm talking
innocent.
about their children.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking to him.
She'd had other suitors, and most of them seemed crass. More self-important is the word that she uses for them, and they were all barons or lords or whatever. Whereas I didn't say she was stupid. I was wrong about that. She's bright. It says bright.
I also want to have a meeting with Lyra and Michael, as well as Brosen the father.
Wait, who?
Her parents.
Oh, Michael?
And his parents.
Yes.
And
Michael.
find out how they truly feel about the wedding. I mean, is she looking at more of as a controlling thing?
She's looking at the feud has been destroying her family.
Yeah.
And she wants that done. And she seems pretty sincere. Even though she hates the Pelians, she really hates them from the way she talks to you about it. The feud is more damaging than this will be. Michael, you're not able to get straight answers out of Michael. Michael doesn't seem to really know what's going on. As far as he's just happy that his stepdaughter's getting married to someone. No. Yeah, his stepdaughter would probably is getting married to someone that she seems to really like. Right?
Yeah.
Right? You know, that's kind of he doesn't seem very bright. And he's always drinking. Whenever you see him, he's got a cup in his hand. And he tries to come across as like this sophisticated noble, but he more is. It looks like he loves the comfort of it, and you have not yet seen him standing when he could be sitting, sitting when he could be laying down. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, as soon as you give him a little audience, he heads right for the bar. Oh, and would you like something, my ladies? Let me pour you something. And he pours you both a drink, and he brings yours, and then he's down, and he's instantly just comfortable.
Yeah. What about
not that far.
What about Eric's father?
Doesn't put his hand. Oh yeah.
What about Eric's father? How does he feel about the whole thing?
Eric's father wants the feud over with too, very, very badly.
So far, it sounds like the families are both for everything, and it's not necessarily a controlling thing, a power struggle.
No. It feels more like the main ones that are running the families, which are the Baron and the Baroness. She's a Baroness too from the other province. Is they want to end this feud. The feud has been costly as monetarily for lives. Yeah. And it's time to do something that'll end the feud, and then we can just get on with our lives. I can hate my in-laws, but I'm not going to hate them to the point where I'm going to stab them, or they're going to try to stab me, or I'm going to try to stab them.
And I don't have to see them, so
yeah, exactly. And you're kind of getting the feeling that it's sincere from both, dang it, what's his name? Haelyn? No. Who's the Baron? Brosen. From both Brosen and from Lara.
Brosen.
Yeah.
Stan.
Okay, you're going to try to do some archery? We'll do 3 rolls. We'll see how we do.
Sure.
Wow. I'm a class 11.
11.
What'd you roll?
11.
11, so subtract that from your THACO. It gives you the AC that you hit. If your THACO is 20, or is it 19?
An 8. I have a 19.
19, so an 8. So you hit the target. This guy didn't. The main guy that you're up against. We're just going to do the end round. We're not going to...
I'm not doing...
Wow, armor class 13.
That's good.
Wow. Armor class 1? That's nearly a bullseye.
Yeah, you're dogging him.
You're winning against the best that the other side has to offer. And this guy rolled armor class 10.
Actually, I'm 11, which is armor class 8.
So he hit the target once, and you hit it 3 times, and almost got a bullseye the 3rd time. So yeah, you won. That's just kind of it takes you all day to do this.
Yeah.
I'm just using those 3 rolls to kind of give an overview of it. You win a platinum trophy.
I wanted to participate.
And you can note that the value is 200 gold piece value of the platinum trophy.
Whoa, okay.
I wanted to participate in the foot battle.
Okay.
Put me on a horse, but...
Okay. We're just going to do a couple attack rolls against each other. It'll be temporary damage. 75% of the damage will be temporary because it's padded stuff. So we'll do just like Erik. Over the course of about an hour probably is how far. Because the foot battle's like 30, 40 guys on each side. Like,
yeah, it's
go!
a grand melee.
Yay! So just 3 attacks against each other and take the results. What's your weapon of choice? I mean, what damage does it do?
Padded sword.
So I'm going to use
D8.
D8 for damage. So everybody's going to be wearing stud leather armor.
Okay.
So AC of 7.
7?
Yeah. So, and I'm using these guys. So that's an AC of 9. So no damage on the first attack. On
AC of 2.
So you did damage to that guy.
6.
So far you're in the lead as far as it goes. Still miss.
AC
Another
7.
hit. Okay. And natural 20. Ah.
Another
Okay,
hit.
so the winner of the
Beat tar out of that guy.
bang, bang, bang. So we're gonna say that you're the winner of. You end up being the winner of the foot.
Sweet. Take that.
Nice.
And that gets you the platinum trophy for that too.
Sweet.
On the 4th and 5th days, there are also sumptuous banquets.
After the
Sumptuous
blankets.
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 Those blankets are.
It's a banking blanket. After I've seen that, my own advisor and my master of
Decided to go beat the crap out of a bunch of people.
have won, I pull whatever your title is. I pull them aside and say,
Stop.
I appreciate your skills, your prowess, but we're at a party for these people.
Of course, my liege.
It would be nice if you would donate those trophies to a local charity. One of the local churches. I would appreciate
Yes,
it.
I absolutely will donate mine to
My liege,
Haelyn.
in all fairness, you are the local charity.
Well, if you could donate it to the church, I would appreciate it.
Yes, my liege.
That would be me.
So you just exchange trophies when he's not looking.
This one's got a bow on it.
You're my local charity, and you're my local charity. Okay, so you get approached during the banquets
My
by
God,
several
yes.
more guests.
Like hell you are.
Seeking favors, trying to curry your
man.
favor, trying
I'm
to,
not that old.
Surprised you can still swing a sword.
trying to just get in with
So
the
are
king.
the 30
'cause
others that
It's
I
easier at a
surprised.
wedding.
And I'm sure I have some sort of page or squire or
Mhm,
secretary or something
You've
following
got,
me.
yes.
And I will refer to each one of them and says, yes, I will listen.
Right. That's all they really
then-
most of them, that's all they want.
And
It's
says,
just a
please
bitch.
make sure
He's going to
that you
have
give,
He's looking to have
your
you.
name
Mm-hmm.
to my secretary.
Okay.
And
We shall
Yeah, they do.
I will look more at your situation.
You should really
Well,
be
and
at
actually,
level 4
at the
now.
banquets,
Oh,
the
yeah.
wording is more casually introduced.
Those are good rolls. They were good rolls too.
It's like they're trying to work stuff into
I
just
kinda
casual
mediocre.
conversations to try
Oh,
to.
speaking of horses,
Yeah, okay, not quite that blunt, but you know what I mean. Yes,
Above
exactly.
middle level, but one of them was real good.
Yeah.
You're also several guests remark upon the obviously strained friendship between the two families, and many of them express doubts that the marriage will last. That's just some of the things you hear.
Well, at the banquet, if I am given the opportunity to speak, then I will speak.
I about guarantee you they're going to want you to speak.
you can speak at anytime you want.
And
All
I
you
will-
have to do is stand up, and your secretary pretty much is the one who picks a glass up and starts banging it or whatever, or trying to get attention.
I will go, basically, I'm assuming that they're probably going to be sitting next to each other.